We got Team Canada picking up a win here over 3 Live Crew. They're going to win the tag team titles. It is a really fun match. Scott D'Amore is going to distract the referee, Rudy Charles, who misses the count. With the ref distracted, Johnny Devine hits Road Dogg with the hockey stick, and Rude gets the pin. It's a fast-paced match.
Jesus.
As I understand it, Conan missed the match. I think Conan was supposed to be here. He's instead working the big AAA show. Was that always an issue with Conan? He was just looking for the better deal, and Lord bless him.
Well, I mean, but no, he look, me and him, we've been to hell and back, but he's business. He was managing the guys, but Conan, I can't say never didn't give us a heads up, but in this kind of circumstance, he knew that, okay, AAA, I can be the boss down there at TNA. I'm going to help out. What a contributor, the 3 Live Crew. And it was Ron and Brian. So he had 2 of the members, but where I was going with this, I don't want to lose my train of thought. This pay-per-view, and Meltzer gave it a lot of, but I'm talking about during this time frame, Conrad. Our opener was Bobby Roode and Eric Young versus Ron Killings and Road Dogg. Yeah. Our roster right here,
loaded
during this time frame. Very blessed. I'll just say that. I was very lucky to get these guys all on one show, all on one time frame.
Let's talk about the next match. We got Hector Garza and Sonny Siaki and Sanjay Dutt, my man, teaming up to take on Michael Shane, Frankie Kazarian, and Kid Cash. And there's a sprint of high spots here, so Kid Cash loved it. And here's what's written in the Observer. Smartly, Sonny Siaki did almost nothing. Goodness. Garza tried a monkey flip, slipped, and nearly landed on his head. That was the big snafu and brought brief "you fucked up" chants from a crowd that was clearly ECW or Ring of Honor inspired. There's a lot of enthusiasm here, so that's a good thing. The fans are paying attention and they're into it. But that does feel like that was a period in time. We don't hear "you fucked up" chants anymore. Why do you think that was in fashion then and it's out of fashion now, Jeff?
What? You know how it's just kind of a wrestling that those what chants got in for a while on every in-ring, and Stone Cold was, I don't call it long gone, but he had been gone for a while. It's, now I truly believe, because I've witnessed, there will be times during a show that there hadn't been of "this is awesome," that the people just want to start chanting that. There's certain chants, and I'm not saying disrespect for any specific match or high spot or anything like that, but the fans today, they like to do their chants, just like in the UK, their version of football, our version of soccer. They have the patented different chants and songs and all that kind of stuff. The wrestling crowd has evolved through the years, because the "you effed up" chants there for a while. You could have the slightest bit screw up, and you would hear those chants rattle out. That's a good observation, that we don't see that today as much as we used to. But now there's just different chants. I just think it's the evolution of the audience.
It's interesting too, because I wonder how much of that is because the performers are on social media now and they see them more as human beings and people, or is it something like botchamania that exists and now these moments are almost sort of celebrated and they're cheered rather than booed? Or is it just our society has become a little nicer, which during this last political cycle I wouldn't have agreed with, but it's definitely different. Like, I remember the "you effed up" chants being such a big part. They used to have "she's a crack whore" chants in the ECW arena. Nothing like that would happen in 2024.
Well, okay. So you said something that people treat more like humans. I'm going to kind of throw a flag on that, because the tribalism, and you kind of hear some crazy stuff on there. And I'm just talking about in wrestling, in politics, in football and basketball, the rivalries. People would just go off the hinges if you don't have to actually, it's easy to tweet, post, comment on that because you don't have to come face to face. Nowadays, in public, I'll call it kind of the cancel culture. You start screaming, you effed up, then all of a sudden, that's kind of like, did you really say that? You offended these. The society is changing on the public presentation or the public perception. You don't want to get canceled, I guess would be, I don't know, Conrad. That's a good little debatable point. We could probably really get in a rabbit hole. I don't have enough carrots for that today.
Well, let's talk about the next match. I know you got some carrots for this. It's Monty Brown and Abyss in what's called a Serengeti survival match. The rules were you could win by pin, submission, or slamming your opponent into thumbtacks. Of course, Monty Brown in a promo called Abyss obese. And Abyss goes for an earthquake splash sitting on Brown, who's laying on a chair. But Brown gets the chair, smashes it on Abyss's groin. I mean, this is some pretty crazy stuff that we're seeing here. Abyss, for what he lacks in pro football knowledge and quarterback IQ, and his pickers broke, as my grandma would say, when it comes to football teams. It feels like he pulled out all the stops on pay-per-view. Monty Brown is a favorite here on My World. Dave gave it 2.25 stars or 2 3/4 stars. What'd you think?
Abyss, and I echo all that. His football IQ is in the negatives. Fantasy even worse. But no, when he put his mind down, and Monty, well, I can't say to my knowledge, I mean, he was universally really, he came, former NFL player, but he just came to work, if that makes sense. I mean, look, he loved to laugh and cut up and all that, but you knew Monty was about business. And when you push all the BS aside, and I think this is why Abyss, or shall I say, Chris, is so successful today. You can laugh and cut up and have fun and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes down, all right, let's talk business. Let's do business. Both of those guys, they put their game face on and just flat out got it done. Abyss's calling card is the tax and all that kind of stuff. But Monty, his explosive moves, it was a go out of your way to watch this. It's a good, hard-hitting match. Those guys had good chemistry.
And by the way, I love me some Dave Meltzer, but he was an absolute dickhead to Abyss in the write-up about this match. Thankfully, Dave's gotten a lot better, but man, he was just unnecessarily assholey into Abyss because that dude's pulling out all the stops. And I don't know. Tell us what you thought of the match and keep your bullshit to yourself.
There you go.